Yeah, I'm changing out the carbs. I got this one from Wagner's on eBay, and it says it's a Walbro. Now, I had gotten one of these and put it on the Dolmar, and it worked pretty good. So I'm hoping it works as well on this 372 clone. Now, you're going to ask, how come I don't go right to ignition timing? And there's a reason for it. And it's just like I'm not going right to high compression. When the ignition's a little bit retarded, oftentimes it's easier to start. Of course, there's a point of diminishing returns. So if I can get what I'm looking for performance-wise without jacking the compression too much and without advancing the ignition timing too much, to me that's the definition of win, because on both those mechanical characteristics, there's a point of diminishing returns, right? You know, of course, too much retarded timing, it won't even run. But retarded to a certain point, it actually starts a little easier than when it's advanced. Of course, you lose a little bit of snap. And the reason why ignition timing actually does make sense on this saw is because it's a little bit lazy on throttle response. And that's a characteristic of too retarded. So I may advance it some, but if I can get what I'm looking for by bolting on a carburetor or taking out a base gasket, I'd rather do that first. Now, there are a couple things I did figure out pretty quick. Is these lines are not very pliable. I'm a little worried about them. So I may change the pulse line and the fuel line very, very soon, because I don't think that they're up to snuff. So let's see if we can get this thing fired up with this different carburetor. Yeah, there's a big change. So this one's going to head to the trash can. Yep, this is a simple tree job removal. Get all this stuff out of here. You have to buck that and then take down that stump. Pull that out of the tree and just take a look at the stuff that's been down so far. This driveway was completely covered. Now, the power company, when they came through, they had their trucks come through here. You can see where they were. And we're going to stay completely on the driveway. We're not going to get anywhere in that lawn. And make this tree go away. Been running the Jonsered 2171 with a 51.4 top end so far on this. And I don't want that to fall into the house. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hook onto that with a chain when I can get in over there and just pull that right out. We'll do that. But we've been at it for a couple hours. So anyway, you don't see this on camera much, but this is the other part of the deal. What I might do is work the Holzfforma into this mix at some point. I'm not sure when, but I'm going to do this type of cleanup work.